Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Anonymous Hedgehog podcast. My name is Maya.
And I'm Rich.
And we'll be your hosts. So today, in honor of my birthday, we are going to be talking about birthday gifts and whether or not they should actually be a thing. Okay, so I can start. So my view on this is that I feel like birthday gifts feel like a burden now. Like I have to shell out so much money each year just to pay for my friends' birthday gifts, and especially when there's like a whole season of like gift giving, because right now actually among like my group of friends we have my birthday and then two other girls' birthdays, and then like I feel like there's also a tendency to like want to compete with other people's gifts. Like you want your gift to be better, right? And so that means getting them something like more heartfelt, more expensive, and it's just like it becomes such a financial burden each year.
Yeah, I've definitely noticed that too, and there's been a lot of times where I was thinking like if it's truly like a gift, then it shouldn't just be something you buy for $20 and give it to them, like a gift card or something. Like it should be some sort of like memory book or like a heartwarming like song or paragraph or something like that. And so I honestly I don't think like materialistic gifts really serve their purpose anymore.
Yeah, I agree. I think I miss like when we were like younger, I used to give more heartfelt gifts because I didn't have like money to buy things then. But now it's just like we literally send a list to each other of like links to on Amazon. And I even know a friend of mine who like she did a sign up genius for each person's gifts. And I feel like that's just like I don't know if I like that better. Do you like it better? Like if someone were to buy you a gift, would you prefer you to be like surprised or them to like know what you want, or would you just rather prefer like you send out a list of things and people just decide what they want to buy for you?
Okay, I think you're asking the wrong person, because personally like there's just not that many things that I buy. Like I probably shop like 3 or 4 times a year, and that's just for like clothes, and the only things that I actually like want to get is like a new laptop or whatever, but that's not something you can give someone as a gift. So I feel like for me the surprise aspect is what I'm getting most out of the gift instead of the gift itself, just because I personally don't buy things.
Really? You actually don't buy things that often? Because what I do, this sounds so like materialistic now that I say it, but like because you said you don't buy anything, but like what I do is like literally throughout the year I have this notes, like I have a list in my notes app of like sometimes I'll think of like, oh, I want to buy something but I can't buy it, so I'll just put it in my birthday list. So like throughout the year I compile this list, and so when it's my birthday then I can send like a full list of things to my friends of things that I wanted to buy throughout the year, but I never like had the money or I couldn't buy.
Yeah. Well, what do you put on that list? Like, is it clothes or is it like technology?
It's like some clothes, like jewelry, makeup, and then some things that like I just haven't gotten the chance to buy. Like this year, like one of my friends gave me like this new Apple Watch band that I just like I've always wanted, and I could buy it myself, but I just like don't want to spend the money on it.
Yeah.
Or like I'm just too lazy to actually go out and buy it.
Yeah, I think that's where gifts come in handy, because like in buying like a new Apple Watch strap, like that's like if you personally spent money on that, you would feel so guilty because you could have spent that on something like actually more useful instead of something that's just pretty. But if someone buys it for you, it's like the perfect excuse to get exactly what you wanted.
Yeah, what do you think about like there's also I've been reading through a lot of Reddit threads actually when people talk about wedding gifts, because I feel like wedding gifts are like a huge thing. They're like they register, like they have like a huge like a registry, and they have like exactly what they want, right? They list out like on Amazon they'll have like a registry, and they just like list out like a toaster, like a utensil set or whatever shit, and then people just click like whatever they want and they just buy it for them. Like I don't know, do you feel like weddings that should be a thing? Because I almost feel like it's just like weddings, they're just attempting to get back the money that they spent on the wedding. That's what I feel.
Yeah, and no, I think that goes with like just birthday parties in general too, because usually if it's like a birthday party at like, I don't know, like a restaurant or something like that, then people tend to give gifts not because they want to give a gift, but because they like feel like they owe them because the other person is like hosting at a restaurant or something.
Yeah, I definitely feel that. There's been a lot of like Also, honestly, sometimes I feel like I didn't go to a birthday party because I didn't want to get them a gift.
Yeah,
Because I just didn't want to buy.
That's happened to me.
I just
Yeah.
didn't want to buy a gift. It's like, unless I know you really well that I'm willing to
Yeah.
like shell out that money for you, I just like won't even bother to get you a gift because it's
Yeah.
not like economically worth it in my opinion.
Yeah, that's so. I thought that I was the only one, but I've definitely not gone to people's birthday parties just because I didn't want to get a gift. I mean, it makes sense if it's like someone you really know and like you want to like pay and like give them something and like see their smile when they like get the gift. But if it's just someone that's inviting you for the sole purpose of like they want more people at their party and they want more gifts for the party, then like it doesn't really make sense to go.
So I feel like it's such like an obligation these days, and also you have to like. There's a whole idea of like if you don't have a party, then you can't really like you don't really get the gifts. But like if you go to someone else's party, you have to give them a gift. And there's also the idea of like if someone like you have to kind of match. Like I watched The Big Bang Theory, and this is like something Sheldon talks about a lot, and I like really they kind of portrayed it in like this is like something neurotic, but like I like really agree with this in the sense that like you have to match the price of your gift to the price of their gift. Because if you get something like super cheap and they get something like really expensive, you'll feel really bad, right? But if it's the other way around, then you'll be like, wow, I just wasted a ton of money on this person. So you have to like there's all these like conscious things you have to do in like gift giving, and I feel like it's just so unnecessary, and it just puts so much undue stress like when it's like your birthday and it's supposed to be fun, but you have to think about all these things.
Yeah, and if you're gonna match prices anyway, then what's the point of even paying? Because like you both are paying the same amount, so it just cancels out, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying. It just cancels out. Like, why don't you just like if no one gave anyone gifts, it would just be so like.
Yeah, and that also nullifies the other argument of like gifts are necessary to pay for the cost of attendance to a party. Well, no, because then the next time like the other person has a party, you have to give the same price of a gift. So I think the gifts cancel each other out. The gifts don't cancel the event's price out.
Yeah, I think it's just like I feel like the whole tradition of gift giving is just like I feel like it's just become something that's like very materialistic in a way. Like I really enjoy those. I think that they should be more like common, those gifts that are just sentimental. Because I remember when I was younger, we used to just make these like nice cards or something for a gift birth, like, and it was probably worth like $5. It was just a bunch of post-its and stuff. But I feel like now giving that kind of gift is considered tacky. Especially if you're like not even like a teenager, if you're like in your early 20s or something, like giving a handmade gift is just considered so tacky, and you're like, wow, you're broke, obviously. But I feel like it should be like a thing. Like I feel like it should be more common.
Yeah, I feel like we've entered like this, like here's my theory, right? Here's my theory.
Okay.
I feel like a long time ago, it was someone's birthday, and I mean, people have always had birthdays, but like, let's just focus on one person. A long time ago, it was someone's birthday, and person X gave person Y a gift, and then person Y felt compelled to give person X a gift. And that just started a trend where people always, because at any point in the year, you're always one gift over or one gift under the other person.
Saying, yes.
So then you're stuck in a perpetual cycle.
And then one day you're going to die, and then you're going to be indebted. Someone is going to be indebted to the other person. And it's like the anxiety of like being in their debt. These like, I bet it was like one person like millions of years ago. Have humans been around for millions? No. Thousands of years ago. Probably.
Humans have only been around for 2,020 years.
I don't know. Anyway, but like I bet it was like so long ago, and then they just like mess up humanity for the rest of our lives. Because now we're stuck in this tradition and we can never get out of it, because the moment someone gives us a gift, it's like we are just like pulled into this like cult. And there's no way to escape the cult of gift giving.
That's so true. I wonder if there's like some like isolated society that like lives on an island where this isn't a tradition because no one got stuck in that cycle before.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like, it's so weird that it's like a tradition in almost every culture. Isn't that so weird? Like you find
spread.
Like,
it's like a pandemic.
Yeah, like how is it? It's like a pandemic. It's not the right time to make that joke. Such an ass. But like, isn't it weird how like this tradition of giving someone like a gift on their birthday has just been, it's like spread through all cultures. Like, why is that? Like, why? I like who even started this tradition? It just seems kind of like just super random.
Yeah, no, it does, but I mean, it comes from a place of goodness. Like, I'm sure you've heard the phrase of like, oh, like enjoy the art of giving, not the art of like taking. But like, what do you feel about that? Like, do you think it's true? Like, do you think you can truly gain more satisfaction from giving someone a gift than receiving one?
Oh, this brings me back to like a really interesting thing. It's just like in psych, I feel like I talk about psych a lot, but like there's just so many like applicable things. It's just like the reason that you give other people gifts is like, it's because like, it's just like, there's no selfless act. It's like, it makes you feel good. And that's why you give to other people. So like, I mean, I guess I kind of agree. It's just like the reason you give to other people is to make yourself feel good. Like if you derive no like pleasure or benefit, then you like you wouldn't. I think it was actually the quote was from Friends. It's just like there's no like selfless act or something like that.
Oh,
Like there's no such thing as a selfless act because like
yeah.
every time you perform something considered selfless, then it's
Yeah.
like you're actually just trying to make yourself feel good. And
Yeah.
I think that the reason like gift giving has become so toxic recently is because like it no longer really makes us feel that good because like if it doesn't give you because like you're just like breaking the bank obviously, but like you're just like trying to shell out money, give them a good gift, but like if the person doesn't really mean that much to you and you don't actually derive like satisfaction out of like seeing a smile on their face or whatever, then the gift is basically useless.
Yeah. Wait, dude, that you
I
have
just
blown
had a
my
deep
mind.
connection.
Every time we talk, there's always just one thing you throw out casually that blows my mind. But the fact that nothing is selfless is so true. Because even the billionaires that are like commended for giving off like significant portions of their wealth, like why are they doing it? Like yeah, they're doing it to help charity, but at the end of the day, helping charity makes them feel better about themselves, and they get news attention, and people think they're a good person, and they feel better about themselves, and that's the real reason they do it.
Yeah, and just like it gives them like it benefits their public image and things like that. Actually, this could relate back to our first episode about like the social media post. It's like it's meant to make you feel better. Like it's meant to
Oh.
make yourself like oh like for example if a white person were to post something about like Black Lives Matter or whatever, it's just like showing that like oh I'm like one of the good white people. Like this makes me feel good because I'm an ally to other black people.
Yeah. So do you think that's selfish? Like, do you think it's selfish to do something for someone solely because it makes you feel good, even if there's like some sort of external like effect? Like, let's say I give you a gift, but I only give you the gift so I feel good, and it just happens to also make you feel good. But the only reason I do it is because it makes me feel good. Am I selfish for that?
I mean, I think it's selfish, but I think it's fine. Like, I think that selfishness is just justified. Like, it's justified because it like benefits, I guess, both of us, right? It's like a net benefit. It's kind of like in like bio or like in nature, it's like a symbiotic relationship, or it's like altruism is what it's called. Like, it's like mutually beneficial. So I'm just like relating this to random topics. It's fine, but like it's just like it's a mutually beneficial relationship. And also, I think like the way that if we go back to like bio, like natural selection stuff, like we are inherently selfish kind of creatures. Like we're looking out for our own survival and reproduction, right?
Yeah.
So I think the idea is that like it's inherent for us to be selfish. But if it benefits other people, then I guess it's like a benefit to society.
Yeah. So that's like it's good for everyone. But if you look at your intentions, then it's bad, I guess. Well, okay, this is going to sound random, but what about like human sacrifice?
What? A human sacrifice.
Yeah, like there's no way that can be selfish, right? Because you're literally dying over some cause. So is that an act? Is that the only act that can be selfless?
No. Well, the thing is, okay, I feel like bad, but I feel like human sacrifice, like, it could, if the person genuinely, like, there are some religions where, like the person genuinely, like, wants, or, I guess, like, the person, like, if it's like their own like idea, then like they like genuinely want to be sacrificed. I don't know. It's just like they're
Because it's
dying
like,
for like their
because like, how can you
cause.
feel, yeah, how can you feel the gratification of it if you're dead?
Oh, like you never get to feel like
That's what I'm
you never.
saying. Like,
That's
yeah.
true. Wait,
Unless the
that's kind of
gratification happens before the action, in which case, if it has already happened, why even do the action?
so like when you're like. It's like when you're dying, you already feel the gratification. Like when you're in the process of like dying, you already feel like gratified. So there's like no point in like following through the action.
Yeah, that's what I like. I might sound absurd right now. I'm sure I
This
do,
is
but
so whack.
if like the assuming the viewpoint that everything is done in an act of selfishness, then the reason someone would actually agree to human sacrifice is because it's something that benefits them. But it can't benefit them if they're already gone. So that makes it so that it has to benefit them before they're gone, meaning before the sacrifice has happened. But if they're already reaping the benefits before the sacrifice has happened, why even go through with the sacrifice?
Well, I guess like they're reaping the benefits, but the benefit is like conditional on the fact that they follow through. Because if they know that if they didn't follow through, they will know that they didn't follow through, so they'll feel like guilty about themselves.
I see.
I guess
Oh,
it's like
I
it's like a
see.
conditional kind
Yeah.
of. It's just like if I just like wrapped your gift, but I didn't actually give it to you. Like I'm
Right.
like just wrapping your gift. I'm like, wow, he's gonna be like so happy when he sees this. But I don't actually give the gift to you. Like it's like I didn't follow through on my action. So like that gratification is not actually received.
That's a good point. That's a good point. I think there's a lot of cases where like gratification is conditional. In fact, probably every case. Like
That's
when
everything. It's just like if you don't complete, because
yeah, if you
otherwise
don't
we could
follow
just like
through.
fool ourselves into like thinking that we're good people, and then just like have like a cognitive dissonance. It's just like otherwise we could
Yeah.
just pretend that we are good people without actually being good people.
And that ties back to what we said in the first podcast again with like people pushing that they're activists on social media without actually causing change. I think that's similar to, wrapping the present but not giving it to someone, right? Because you're not actually causing the change.
So if you think like social media, like we have a need. So is it like posting on social media? Like it's the need to kind of follow through with the action. It's just like if I just know, like if I know that I'm like a good person, or like I know that I believe certain thing about an issue, but like I need to post it online to receive that gratification. I can't just like know it in my heart.
Oh, I see. I see. So in this case, posting would be completing the loop, I guess.
I guess it's like I guess it's like depends on like which. I guess it depends on the person, you know.
It depends on your perspective of what completes the loop. Like for me, and probably for you too, based on what we said in the first
Yeah.
episode, like for us, completing the loop would probably be like actually donating to a charity or, volunteering. And like just the start of the loop would be actually posting. And so for us, I guess it's very, very subjective. Like for us, if we just posted on social media alone, we wouldn't feel that gratification because it's conditional upon completing these other tasks.
Yeah, I think the funny thing is just like also with the donation, like I think a lot of people they've donated and then they've posted online that they've donated to kind of show that they've donated. But like it's like isn't there like gratification enough just to donate without actually telling anyone that you've donated? Like what if like yeah, like in like when we were talking about billionaires donating a ton of money, like what if they just donated that like under an anonymous name? Like they wouldn't receive that gratification, like that public, like
Yeah.
like their public image wouldn't be as glorified as if they've donated under their name.
Yeah. No, that's so interesting to think about because I think the level at which you get gratification is so subjective and it's based on how you've been raised and the way you think. I know there's a lot of, especially at universities, there's so many buildings that are just fully anonymously donated. And the people that donate those buildings probably have gotten the same gratification as the people who, put their name on the buildings. It's just subjective based on what completes the loop for that person.
That's crazy because like also I remember there was this experiment. Sorry, I just keep going back to psych, but like there was this experiment where I think it was called like a marshmallow experiment. Basically, they gave these kids like a marshmallow and they just put them in an empty room, and they're like, okay, so like don't touch this marshmallow until I get back. And like they didn't tell them when they were coming back, but they just like, and then basically the kids who, I think they found that the kids who ended up, so, oh yeah, they said that if you can wait to like come back, then you get 2 marshmallows or something like that. And then they found that the kids that could wait until the person came back were more likely to be successful. Like even from such a young age, the ability to delay gratification is a predictor of success in later years.
Yeah, no, definitely. Delayed gratification is everywhere. Like with fitness, you need to be able to like put in the work every single day to get results in like 1 or 2 years. Same thing with like getting the promotion, the job you want, being able to quit your job or drop out of college to create a startup or create some company. Like that's all delayed gratification. But at the same time, like what if that kid was on a diet and he only wanted 1 marshmallow?
What if the kid was on a diet and only one marshmallow? I mean, like, yeah, I guess that's not. Yeah, sure, but that's not the point. Well, I was thinking like we bring up like delayed gratification. What if like you like is it possible to delay it so long that you actually get no gratification? Like that would be true selflessness. Or like the delayed, like for example, like I don't know, is like Van Gogh or something, like his gratification from his artwork, like or at least his like his fame was so delayed that he never even got to experience it because he was dead.
Right, but he didn't expect that, right? Like when I'm sure when he was painting, he had high dreams, he had hopes of getting gratification early. It's just the gratification came late. So
yeah, so I guess,
think. I think when you are delaying gratification, like what sets you apart is being able to say, I don't know when this is going to happen or if it's going to happen, but I'm still going to like continue to work hard. And that's when you're successful.
That's like so crazy because like you don't know when it's going to come. Like I think it also, we were talking like, I think it also depends like the environment in which we were raised in, because they were saying like with that experiment, like kids who had like parents who were like unreliable or parents who were like abandoned by their parents and things like that, they were more likely to seek early gratification. And kids who grew up in poverty, because they're more likely to like, take what you can get, because like don't trust society to like give you that gratification. So like it's right here, I'll take what I can get now. I don't trust that person to actually come back and actually give me another marshmallow.
Yeah. I think that can be helpful sometimes. Like it's good to be skeptical. Like there's like, for example, like putting all of your money in one bank, like, yeah, you'll get gratification. Like you'll have like interest collected on that money or whatever. But let's say there's a run on the banks or like the economy crashes, there's a chance that it won't happen. So I think it really is like a balance. Like you need to be able to balance the delay and also having like a safety net.
Yeah, like if you were just like the immediate gratification, that's like so interesting too, like the like concept of delayed gratification, because like the immediate gratification would be to invest in like some really volatile stocks or something, right? But then like the delayed would be like if you invest in just like a high interest savings account or whatever, and then like those people are probably turn out to be like in the long run more successful, like because they don't have like the volatility of like the day-to-day like stocks and stuff like that.
Yeah, but there's an opportunity cost of delayed gratification. Like you're sacrificing what could be a temporary indulgence for what might not even happen. Like you don't even know if you're going to get that gratification.
I think the concept is just like you're placing your trust of like your like future in someone else, which is just so scary, because like instead of like, I guess you could like instead of you controlling it, for example, I take the marshmallow now, right? You're like placing like your entire hopes on like someone else.
Yeah.
Like you're just like placing your trust in society, you're placing your trust in the system to somehow like give you that like gratification.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I mean, I guess you're placing your trust in someone else, but sometimes you can be placing that trust in yourself, and I guess you could backstab yourself. So like with fitness, right? You're placing your trust on yourself and I guess maybe your gym equipment, but that's a stretch. And you putting in the
Okay.
work every single day is like trusting yourself that you will get results, because it's like a very accepted cause and effect thing. Like, you know that if you're going to work out every day, you will get results. But like, there's a chance that you're going to indulge in the future, and you making sure that you work out for like the next 2 months right now is assuming that you're not going to break the workout 2 months into the future.
So it's the concept of like yeah, so you're putting your entire like trust in yourself. Like, you could mess up too. Like, this
Right.
is like in like I've like studied a lot like investment stuff, and they're saying
Uh-huh.
it's like the difference between investing in like a mutual fund where it's like it's a mutual fund where like there's like a manager or like someone else like manages it for you, versus like investing in individual stocks by yourself. It's just
Yeah.
like either you give your money to like an expert and then you like let them kind of manage it for you, or you put your trust in yourself and you try to, I guess, beat the market. Like, you try to you try to pick individual stocks that would be better than what that like the manager of the mutual fund were to pick.
Yeah. Yeah, and sometimes putting trust in yourself is like a lot worse than putting trust in someone else.
That's true, because they were saying, like, I was reading the investment book. They're saying that like individual investors like basically never beat like the market average. Like, if you were just to pick like I think the average like growth rate or something for a year is around 8%. Like, they say like on average, like, you're never going to beat that 8% rate if you just try to pick individual stocks by yourself. Like, it's very rare that you would beat that. So they were saying, like, for the average investor who's just not an expert, it would be more sensible to give that instead invest in a mutual fund where like an actual expert is investing and they know what they're doing, because they said
Yeah.
like it's very rare that you can actually beat the market.
But that takes a hit on your ego, right? Yeah, like, I want to be in charge of what I'm doing. And I guess that goes along with short-term gratification, because I get a little bit of gratification knowing that I'm trusting myself and only myself.
I think it's just like, I think it's the uncertainty. Like, it's the uncertainty of like, is that person ever going to come back and like give me a marshmallow? Like, is this, or like, it's the uncertainty, like, you don't really know what they're doing with your money, versus like when it's in your hands, you have like, you know exactly what you're doing, right? Even if you make a mistake, then you can like, you know exactly what happened. But like, if like they make a mistake, there's almost like, there's nothing you can do about it, because like, even if you think like, oh, I could have prevented that mistake, but like, it's just the uncertainty of just not knowing what's going to happen that's so scary.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I think
No,
that's the
that's
thing
true.
with like delayed gratification too. It's just like if you, because like people who like, they say like, if you are able to delay gratification at a young age, then you're more likely to be successful in your future career. But like, it's like when you're at the bottom, when you're working like a minimum wage job, or when you're, for example, if you want to become like a singer or an artist, you're putting all your effort into this one career path and you just have no idea where it's going to go. Like, it could
Right.
go nowhere. And like,
Yeah. Yeah. And it's a lot better to just go along with like the stable minimum wage job in that case. Yeah. And honestly, like, I do think that there's times when short-term gratification is better. And that's why you have people, you know, like going to the club on the weekends or partying sometimes, because that's all short-term gratification. Obviously, that's not contributing to their
That's
career
true.
in the future, but people make conscious decisions and say, hey, like, this little short-term gratification is better than me, you know, continuing to grind out my job every single day, because it'll also provide me with like rest, and it'll basically give me the break I need to be even better in the long term. So I think a long-term gratification path coupled with little short-term rest breaks in the middle is the way to go.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think that there are times when like short-term gratification can be useful because you do need that kind of like reassurance along the way, or like there's no way like you're just gonna work yourself to death, and there's no
Right.
way, right?
Yeah.
But also like it's kind of the idea of like taking what you can get while you're still ahead. Like if it's like if you're talking about the economics example, like back in the market, like just sometimes people just sell while they're ahead because they think that it's gonna drop, right? And they don't want that uncertainty in their like they don't want that volatility in their portfolio. But it's just like I was saying, like the back to the marshmallow with the kids, just like the kids who were raised in households where things were more uncertain, like for example they had a parent leave, like they just they don't believe that gratification is eventually going to come, so they just like, oh, like I already have one, I'm just going to take what I can get, and I'll like sacrifice the opportunity cost of the other one if I just take this right now.
That's what I'm, yeah. And that's what I was getting at when I was saying, like, what if the kid's on a diet and doesn't want the second marshmallow? Like, when I was saying that, I was implying that there's times when even the long-term gratification goes against your longer-term goals. So if your long-term gratification is to get to, like, let's replace the marshmallows with like a hot cup of tea. If your long-term gratification is you get 2 cups of tea, but then the first one has gotten cold, like you're going to want to go with the first hot cup of tea because that goes against your even greater goal of just enjoying the cup of tea hot.
This is the whole idea of like, when should you give up? Like when should you
Right.
like, right? When should you just like some people like, for example, like if you want to be like a singer, like and you're just so bad, and like people and your parents tell you like you suck. Like when should you just give up?
Yeah.
You know? I remember my dad one time he showed me this it was this like cartoon of like this, it was super weird, but it was like this lady knitting something, and then like the thing that she was knitting was like falling down a cliff, and like basically she just like she refused to let go, she kept knitting it, and then she just fell down the cliff with her, like it's like it's supposed to be like a cartoon, yeah, to like emphasize this philosophical concept. It's just like, when should you like know that you're holding on to like a failing vision?
Right. Yeah. It's like there's another like metaphor where it's like someone is reaching into like a cookie jar, and like if they grab onto like 5 cookies, they can't bring their hand out because they're holding too much. So they have to let go of some. And if they decide not to, then their hand's just stuck and they can't get the cookies either way.
Yeah, that's super interesting. Okay, I guess we can just end the show here. Thank you guys so much for listening. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast, and we'll see you all next time.